tapping into the true potential of the human spirit. This is Humanity Empowered. This is the Implicit Show. Hello. What is up? It's me, Brand Dubé, and it's Q&A Tuesday on the Implicit Show. I'm pretty pumped about this. This is always a fun show because this is a chance where you guys get to leave your comments and questions and everything live on the screen. And we're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch. And so those are all the areas where you could comment and we can get your comments on screen. If you're listening to this on iTunes after the fact, right after we've already recorded it, no worries. If you have any comments or questions, you just email us info@implicitentertainment.com, or you could just get a hold of us on Facebook and social media and all that stuff. So leave your comments and questions on screen. And if you couldn't tell, as I was saying that, I was typing it. So, all right, today on the show, we're going to talk about mindset. And the reason this is coming up for me, the reason I want to chat about this, the reason it's on my mind is really because this is, as you guys know, I'm writing books. Basically, I'm writing a book every single month for the next 12 months. That's been my challenge. And so it's February. So there's 2 out already, 2 down, another 10 to go. And so in January, I released a book called Achieving Mastery, and it's all about, getting a hold of mastery, right? It's really about the skill of building skills, right? You got to be able to learn properly. You got to be able to master stuff. You got to have that control over yourself, that self-discipline. And the second book in this series was called Motivation Mastery, and Motivation Mastery is really about, well, it kind of says it itself, right? It's about motivation. It's about your why, right? Really getting yourself to develop that drive for life, right? Getting yourself to develop that fuel for life. And the third book that I'm writing, actually, I just finished it today. It's called Mindset Mastery. And it's all about mastering the mindset, and why we're going to talk about today, why mindset is so important. And obviously you guys are going to have a chance to leave some stuff on screen if you guys have any questions or anything, and then we'll have a chat about it. We'll have a chat, and I love to get your opinions. I love to have a conversation about this. This isn't just about me ranting, because I'll tell you, I could rant for days, I could rant forever, but I want to engage in a conversation with you guys on the show. So let's talk a little bit about mindset. First, I guess I'll talk to you about my experience with mindset. So obviously, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm super pumped about this. I'm super pumped that I get a chance to share all the things that have changed my life, because literally, guys, like, I would not be doing this show 2-3 years ago. There's no way I'd be doing this. 1, the technology wasn't there, and 2, I wasn't there. My mindset wasn't there. I remember a time in my life where I was just down, man. I was depressed all the time. I was always not just depressed, some people are depressed and you can't tell they're depressed, right? Because maybe they're showing a different kind of emotion. I was that guy, right? I was depressed inside and alone, but anytime I was in front of people, it was more of like I was more of like a silly kind of playful kind of guy. I mean, sometimes I'd even get really upset and really just had anger problems. And so I'd lash out on people I love. I remember one time, I was with my band. We were in band practice, and we were having a pretty decent practice, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I was just upset, and I was upset with the guys, and I just lashed out at them, and I was yelling at the guys. I was telling them, like, guys, come on, get your shit together, right? I'm putting in all this work, I'm doing all this stuff, I'm doing this and this and this and this, right? Me, and then I was like pointing at them, blaming them for anything that went wrong. And so I did that not only in band context, but I did that, in relationships. I did that with dear friends of mine. I was just not happy. And I was hurt. And as you know, hurt people, right? When you're hurting inside, you're way more likely to go out and hurt the people you love, the people around you. And that's no way to live. It's just not cool. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also, my expertise in this area, guys, comes from me being able to shift it all. Like, I'm telling you, I did like a complete 180 shift, and it all started up here in my mindset. And if you guys know me, if you guys know my story, you've heard this, but for anybody who doesn't know my story, who hasn't heard this, I'd love to kind of just give you a quick little update. I grew up listening to music. I was in a family, and it was a great family. They loved music. They loved to party. It was pretty cool. It was great. We had our dysfunctional times. It wasn't perfect all the time, but I really found my love in music, and I was really grateful to have support from my parents and everything and all that stuff. I mean, and I had high expectations when I was younger. I had high expectations. I was like, we got to be just as good as Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was just rising to fame around the time we started our band. And we thought, man, this kid's young. He's making it happen. We're young. We have to make it happen. If we don't make it happen now, we'll never make it happen. And so that was my mindset going into that. And it was just basically just put a lot of pressure on us. We had people who believed in us, who were always telling us, oh, you're so great, you could never quit, you got to keep it up, you got to keep going, you got to keep doing it, you got to keep doing it, got to keep making it happen. Yet we weren't fulfilled. Yet we weren't really happy with what we were doing. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, where maybe you're succeeding at school or something, you're getting great grades in school, and everybody's telling you you're doing great, but you're not really into it, but it doesn't really make you feel like you're succeeding or like you're doing anything. That was my life for a long time. And so, it eventually led down a path where I was, I was hurt inside. I was unfulfilled. I was depressed. I was feeling I had all this negative thoughts, negative mindset going through my head. But, it led to me drinking a lot. I mean, obviously, I was overweight. I was 60 pounds heavier than I am today. 60 pounds, guys. Imagine me with like 60 pounds just hanging off me, right? 60 pounds heavier. I was drinking at least 4 or 5 times a week, and it wasn't like I'm just having a beer or I'm just having a shot. No, I would get drunk as I can. 4 or 5 days a week. I was at the bar, hanging out, getting drunk with my buddies, waking up with the hangover, just sleeping in, nursing the hangover, eating junk food, right? Sitting around getting high, watching Netflix, playing video games, right? It was a really depressing life because all I was doing, all those things, the food, the liquor, the drugs, the Netflix, all those things were just instant gratification, right? They were just quick little shots of dopamine, quick little shots of pleasure to get myself out of pain, because I was at the end of the day, I was just in pain. I was really hurting. And so obviously those things never last, right? Food addiction never lasts, right? Pain, none of that stuff ever lasts. And so I eventually got to the point where I was so damn miserable. I mean, I was secretly suicidal. Like, I remember I was laying in my bed the one day, and this was after the band broke up and after all these things have already happened. And I was just remember thinking to myself, like, why am I even here? Like, is there even a point? Like, am I making the world a better place at all? Does anybody really care? What if I wasn't here? What if I just wasn't here? Right? Would my family really care? Would they be better off? Would my friends really care, or would they be better off? And those kind of ridiculous thoughts were going through my head. And meanwhile, it wasn't like my life was ending, right? I my band broke up. Okay, big deal. I mean, it was my only thing I was ever passionate about, whatever, you know what I mean? And so next thing I know, I was depressed. I was laying in bed all the time, just not doing anything with my life. And finally, I get a call from my brother, and I love this guy. He's freaking hilarious. My brother gives me a call, and he's like, man, check out this book, Think and Grow Rich. And I laughed in his face because I thought it was ridiculous. It's like, Think and Grow Rich. I've never read a book, man. I've never read books. You want me to read this Think and Grow Rich book? And I read it, and it changed my life. And sure enough, it helped me believe that everything that is going on in your life really is happening in your mind, in your mindset. And so, Rachel Johnson's got a question here. She says, how can I get mindset incorporating my crafts that I like to do? So how could she use her mindset to, get better at the things she wants to do, to master her craft, to make that happen? And actually, I love this question because this is a lot of what I want to talk about, because after I read that book, Think and Grow Rich, I started changing things, man. I started changing everything. I started changing what time I wake up. I started changing what I do before I go to bed. I started journaling more. I started listening to more audios. I stopped watching so much Netflix and started watching videos of speakers and authors. And I watched TED Talks and TEDx Talks. And, later on, I would go on years later to be a TEDx speaker. Like, it was amazing. And all of this came from just mindset shifts. Just little mindset shifts that changed everything and changed the game for me. Because look, we talked about this before. When something happens to you, or something happens out in the world, right? We don't perceive that thing. we create a perception, we create a representation of what that thing is, right? We represent it within ourselves. Let's take an example, okay? I'm in traffic. I'm driving, right? You guys drive. A lot of you drive probably. I'm in traffic driving, and all of a sudden somebody cuts me off in traffic. And, I'm a little upset. I'm a little pissed off, right? That's my initial reaction is, man, what is that guy's problem, right? That person has something against me. The universe has something against me. I'm pissed off now because this person cut me off, right? But what if we had the ability to create space between things happening and how we react to them, right? Because look, I know this is what happened. I had no control. I had no control over my thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors. I had none, right? When things would happen, when somebody would say something, I would instantly snap, right? I had an automatic reaction to what happens when people reject me. I had automatic reaction to what happens when people, make fun of me, or when people disagree with me, or when something happens that's out of my control, or when I start feeling like crap about myself, right? I had automatic reactions, automatic thoughts, feelings, behaviors that would come about. And so what I really learned to do was, first off, was to create space. That space comes from awareness, right? When you know what it is your automatic reaction is going to be, right? You kind of have an idea of what thought patterns that you get into, what behaviors and feelings, the kind of stuff that just happens on automatically for you. Once you realize that, you can start to identify those things as they happen. So if I give you a quick example, anger, right? Like I told you earlier, anger and depression and anxiety, these were problems for me for a long time. And so what really helped me to break out of that was creating a new idea of what things mean, right? Because what is mindset? What is mindset? All it is it's a jumble of thoughts, of feelings, behaviors. It's different belief systems that you have. Your values have a big part to do with that. It's your conditioning. It's your environment, right? It's the things that you visualize. It's the people you surround yourself with. These are all the things that influence your mindset. And so, to answer Rachel's question here, how can I get the mindset needed to master my craft is really what she's asking here. I'd say it really starts with self-awareness. I mean, everything I talk about, everything I teach, everything I learn, it all comes down to self-awareness. Do you really know who you are? Do you really know what you want? Do you really know what you do, your habits? First off, I'd start with your values. And we've had an episode on this. I'd love you guys to go back and listen to that. It's called Discovering Your Core Values or something along those lines. And that is such an important episode because it helps you really discover who you really are at the deepest level, like what matters most to you. And if you want to discover what your values are, you could ask a question as simple as this. What matters most to me in blank, right? What matters most to me in life? What matters most to me in business? What matters most to me in relationships? What matters most to me in relationships? I think I said that, but you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things that you ask. Those are the kind of questions you ask to discover those values within yourself. And when you discover them, you'll discover that maybe you value love a lot more than you value success, or maybe you value freedom a lot more than you value health. And this is important because when you understand your values, you understand what you're actually after in life. Because listen, not all of the decisions we make on a daily basis are conscious, right? Think about it. There's science and studies are showing that the subconscious mind, I'm not sure if you've heard of the subconscious mind, it runs like 100% of our life. 100. They used to say it was 90. Now there's studies coming out saying it's 100% of your life. And what that means is, your subconscious is basically your body, your mind, body, everything running on autopilot, right? Everything running automatically. And your subconscious is constantly being influenced. Everything you see, everything you think, say, do, behave, everything in your environment is soaked into the subconscious. Think of your subconscious like a sponge. And so everything you experience is soaked into the subconscious. The subconscious doesn't judge whether or not it's good or whether or not it's bad or whether or not it should keep it or whether or not it should throw it out. It just takes it all in. And that process, that subconscious mind is what's making your decisions. And so it's so important to realize what we value at not just a conscious level, but at a subconscious level. And how do we get down to the subconscious? I mean, a lot of it is just asking yourself proper questions. If you ask yourself the right question, odds are you'll get down to the right answer, right? I mean, so many times we ask ourselves questions like, oh, Why me? What is wrong with me? What what did I ever do to deserve this? Or blah, 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 right? These are like woe is me questions. Right? These are questions like, oh, my life sucks. Oh, why me? This is right? Instead of asking a question like, okay, how can I take advantage of this situation? How can I enjoy the process? How could I get myself to take the necessary action and actually enjoy it? Right? How could I serve others? How could I give of myself and contribute rather than just thinking about me all the time? And these are important questions to ask, because I'm telling you, I remember there's a point in my life where all I thought about was me. All I cared about was like, what's going on with my life? What's going on in my mindset? What's going on with me? Why me? This, all that stuff. And at the end of the day, I was unfulfilled because I had no deeper purpose. I had no deeper meaning. I didn't even really know what I wanted out of life, right? I thought I wanted to play music and I thought I wanted to party. Like, those are my two goals in life, guys. Seriously, was to party and play music. If I could party all day and then play music all night and then go back to the party, like, that was my life. That was beautiful, right? That was good. But at the end of the day, I wasn't fulfilled because I didn't feel like I had a true purpose in my life. I didn't feel like my music had a lot of purpose. I felt like I was playing music for my own personal needs. I was playing music because I wanted to play music. I was playing music because it made me feel good. I was playing music because of me. And that's fine, guys. That is 100% fine. Like Rachel Johnson saying here, how could I get the mindset to achieve what I want to achieve, to master my craft, right? It comes initially, it's got to come from self-awareness and from thinking about yourself, or you got to do what you love to do. But I'm telling you, if all you do is what you love to do and you're not serving anybody else, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be fulfilled, because life is not about you. You are about life, right? Life is about we, not just me, right? All these cheesy lines that I could come up with, right? Life is more than just the me game. It's the what can I do for the people around me, because human beings evolved as a community, right? Think about it. A baby would not survive just sitting there in the wild, just chilling. Okay, let's pop the baby out of the womb and just like let it go do its own thing. Maybe turtles, maybe snakes, you could do that. Maybe birds, maybe. But humans? No, there's no way. Humans, they need parents. They need community. They need someone to hold. They need somebody to love. That's what humans need. And so that's why, it's so important to realize your values, not just for yourself, but what do you value for others? Like, how do you want to serve others? All right, we got some questions here. I could rant for days, guys. I should really answer your questions. Connor's asking, is it worse to fail at something or never attempt it in the first place? Connor, that's a mindset thing. Brent says, I myself would rather fail than never try. I would have to agree, Connor. I would rather fail than not try. Because look, the truth is, failure, you really have to ask yourself, what does failure mean to you? What does it mean to fail? What's your mindset around failure? What's your belief about failure? Because some people, they say, hey, if I don't get 100%, I failed. I failed, right? Other people, they say, hey, you know what? I gave it my all. I learned from the experience. And as a result, I succeeded, right? It's a different mindset, right? Failure for some people it's a lot easier to fail for some people than it is for others to fail. For me, I got to tell you guys, it's so hard for me to fail. Why? Because I don't let myself fail. To me, failure means I would have to give up. That's failure. I would have to completely give up. And I will never let myself give up. I will try. I will keep going. I will do the next thing. I'll make a mistake. I'll learn from that mistake and I'll move on. And so it's so powerful to realize this is like a self-awareness game. Mindset, I could talk about this for days. There's a book I wrote about it coming out next week or the week after. And so, like, I could talk about this for days, guys, but really you got to figure out, this is really about discovery, self-discovery. Discover what it is you value most. Is it love? Is it success? Is it happiness? Is it health? Is it freedom? What do you value most? And then next, ask yourself, what beliefs do you have, right? What are your beliefs around success, right? What would it take for you to be successful? For some people, what it takes to be successful is, I got to make $1 million in a day, and I got to, marry like the perfect spouse, and I got to have like the perfect kids who are never upset, they never cry. I got to have like perfect 6-pack abs and like muscles all the time. Just like, yeah, that's how I succeed. That's what success is. And so as a result, they set the bar so high, it's so hard to reach that bar. And so they'll never be happy. They'll never be successful because they never reach that point. I mean, and what happens when they do? Oh, well, yeah, I know I make $1 million a day, but I need to actually make $2 million a day. I actually need 2 beautiful spouses and I need 20 perfect kids, right? That they just keep up in the game. They just keep raising the bar. That's because you'll never be happy with what you really have now unless you learn to accept it for what it is. And so define what does success mean to me, right? For some people, success is I woke up today. Success. Like seriously, for some people, it's that freaking easy. I woke up today, right? I put a smile on my face. I've succeeded, right? I got food on my plate. I got roof over my head. I got a camera in my face. Success, right? For some people, it's that simple. Connor says, yeah, I guess it's better to give your 100% than to just completely give up and accept failure. It's exactly that, Connor. If you give up, that is failure. If you keep going, you've not failed yet, right? Like I'm on a mission to serve, empower, and impact millions of lives all around the world. Have I done that yet? No, I've not. I've impacted thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people I've been able to reach and I've been able to influence their lives. But has it been millions yet? No. Does that mean I failed? No. That just means I'm still in the process. I'm still in the game. My clock hasn't run out yet. I'm still making it happen. And until I give up, that's when I fail. If I give up, I failed. But I won't because I have a mindset about it. I have a belief. I have a faith in myself and confidence in myself. I know who I am. I know what my values are in life. I know what I'm after. I know what kind of beliefs I need in my mindset to master my craft, to make my life of my dreams, to make other people happy, to serve others. I just know myself more than anything. So it's so important. All right, we got a question here from Space Paradoxes. I like that name. And they say, so maybe that's engraved in our nature, always craving for, I think they mean more, always craving for more. Just look at how we see the future and how people from the 20s and 30s saw the 2000s. 100%, man, 100%. That is the human nature, to always crave more. We're always looking to grow. We wouldn't be where we are today. The technological advances, everything, we wouldn't have it if we didn't have that striving, that I need more. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. That's powerful. It really is. But and I've talked about this before in an episode, there's a balance between that pursuing something and the accepting something, right? Self-acceptance. I love myself. I love my life. I'm happy, grateful. Everything's perfect just the way it is. Thank you. I'm grateful. I'm happy, right? And that person's cool and all. That person's great because they're super happy and fulfilled. But oftentimes that person could run into the trap of being lazy. That person can run into the trap of never doing anything with their lives. That person can run into the trap of always thinking me. I'm happy. As long as I'm fulfilled, that's all that matters, right? I'm in pleasure right now. That's all that matters. But on the other hand, there's that person that we already talked about, right? Oh, I need to succeed. I need to make this happen. I need to do this, and this, and I'll never be happy. Nothing will matter until I make that happen. And what happens to that person? That person gets anxious. They get stressed. They get overwhelmed. And eventually they give up. They burn out. They stress themselves out to the point where they just give up. And so I think true mastery, true fulfillment comes from finding the balance between the two, right? You got to love yourself. You got to accept things for the way they are and be grateful, right? Because if you're living in resistance with the way things are all the time, you'll never be happy. You'll never achieve anything because you're using so much of your energy resisting the way things are. And there's some things you just can't change. You got to be aware of what you can change, what you can't change. And this whole episode, this mindset shift talk, this is all about changing yourself and changing the way things mean to you, because you might not have control over the guy who just cut you off in traffic. You might not have control over, your boss firing you at work. You might not have control over the love of your life passing away, but you absolutely 100% have control over what that means to you, over what you're going to do about it, over how you're going to feel about it. That's in your control. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys here is, look, there's an epidemic in our country. There's more people who kill themselves. There's more people who commit suicide than deaths from natural diseases, natural disasters, wars. Think about that, guys. We are living in the most amazing time in history. Things are only getting better and better and better. Our quality of life, we live better today than our ancestors lived, we live better today than the kings of our past, the pharaohs of our ancient past. We live better today than them. And yet we're depressed. Yet we're shoving food, junk food, down our throats so that we could feel better. No, we're drinking to the point till we puke until we feel better. We're popping pills because the doctor says you're a bipolar depressant, you're manic depressive, you're this label, you're that label, take this drug, take that drug, you'll feel better, right? And it's ridiculous. We don't have control over what's going on in here. We don't have control over what's going on in here, and that's why we're killing ourselves. That's why we're depressed. And I'll tell you, I was in that position. That's why I get so worked up about this. That's why I get so passionate about this, because I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to end my life. I didn't give a shit about anybody. And out of nowhere, it wasn't like some freaking person came out of nowhere and changed my life. I changed my life. I worked for it. I went out every single day and I read freaking books every single day. I'm listening to audios every single day. I'm changing things about my life. I'm changing things about the way I believe. I'm throwing away the past. I'm throwing away the old story of what I've been told. I'm forgetting about what school told me. I'm forgetting about what my parents told me, what society told me, and I'm deciding for myself. I'm doing my own research. I'm making my own decisions of what I want to believe, of who I want to be. And as a result, I'm happier than ever. As a result, you could see as a result, right? People who have known me 3 years ago, they could see the night and day change from who I was to who I am today. And who made that person? I made that person. I made that happen. And now all I'm trying to give to you guys is I'm trying to extend the gift. Why do I do this podcast 5 days a week? Because my life has changed. And it's my mission. Like, I feel like it wouldn't make any sense for me to keep it to myself, right? That's the me mentality. Look, if I could help you guys get off your depression pills, if I could help you guys, get off the junk food, if I could help you guys feel good about yourselves, be healthier, be happier, do what you love in life rather than working a shitty job you hate. If I could help you guys in any way possible, then that makes me feel like my life is worth meaning. That makes me feel like I'm worth it. I shouldn't kill myself. I should be here because I know as long as I'm here, I can make a difference in somebody's life. I could change something for somebody. And all that is a mindset shift, guys. I went from thinking about me. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, why is my life so shitty? Oh, why am I so crappy? Oh, why this? Why that? To thinking, how can I make it better? How can I have more fun? How can I serve? How can I change somebody else's life like my life has been changed? And so it all comes down to your mindset. And there's a couple things that I really want to mention. We're coming up to the end of the podcast, and I getting so into it here, but thank you, Rachel. Rachel says she loves the podcast. I love you, Rachel. Thank you so much. One of the two things that I'm going to give you two more things. Obviously, I want you guys to pick up the book. The book's going to be free for a week, and this is where you're going to get really deep into it. But look, over the past, while I was writing the book, there's two things that really jumped out to me that I remember changing, and it changed everything for me. One, guys, is your environment. Okay, your environment. Can I not emphasize this point enough? The food you eat is going to be who you become. Literally, science says it. I don't need to Google it. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. The food you eat literally becomes your skin. It becomes your cells. It becomes your blood. It becomes your hair. It becomes your eyes. Within 7 years, you're walking around in a completely new body than you did 7 years previously, because your body's completely regenerating itself always. And so let me tell you, the same goes for the music you listen to, the TV you watch, the people you surround yourself with, the conversations you engage in, right? Do you talk about ideas? Do you talk about empowering topics, or do you gossip? Right? These things matter. These things matter so much. I can't even explain it. Like the TV you watch, the movies you watch, think about it. Like, you never see a kid, like a kid who starts watching TV, right? A little kid doesn't know anything about the world, super naive, doesn't know swear words, doesn't know sexual innuendos, right? Kid doesn't know anything. But all of a sudden they start watching Family Guy, or they start watching South Park, or they start watching The Simpsons, and all of a sudden they're all like, shit, fuck, piss, this, right? It's like, where'd this kid get all this information from? Where'd this kid come up with that? Their environment, right? When I was a kid, my parents, they loved to party. and they love to drink and they love to have a good time. And they also, sometimes they love to get in arguments. And so as I was growing up, I modeled a lot of the same behaviors. I love to drink and party, right? I love to get in arguments. I love to be right. I love to be the person who's right and rather than the person who's wrong, right? There was things that I picked up from my environment. And it's not just from my parents. I love my parents. They're amazing. They did the best they can with the resources they had. But at the same time, I was playing Grand Theft Auto at 10 years old, 12 years old, right? And what's Grand Theft Auto all about? Oh, you just walk around, you steal cars, you shoot people, you pick up prostitutes, you screw around, right? That environment that I was in led to me being that kind of person. I was the kind of person who, I used to walk around the grocery store and just pretend to shoot people. I didn't have a gun or anything, but literally, guys, think about it. I'm a 10-year-old kid pretending to shoot people. There's something there that's fucked up. There's something there that's not right. And so it's so important, I think, for you to realize what environment you're in. And when I changed my life, it's when I changed my environment. It's when I changed from playing shooty video games, killing people on video games and shit, to watching, just terrible comedies or watching terrible shows and movies that basically influenced me to be a dick. They influenced me to be mean to people. My environment was shaping me. And what happened with the shift was, guys, where all this ranting comes from, where all these ideas and thoughts come from, is me immersing myself in a new environment. I threw out Netflix. I threw out my video games. I threw out the shitty, the negative, depressing music, and I started watching videos of TED Talks, people sharing ideas about amazing things, positive things. I started watching movies that were inspiring, that rather than making me feel like, oh, okay, I got to go around and shoot people, I watched movies that made me think about, oh, hey, how could I serve? How could I be better to people? How could I do what's good? And so this shift in environment, I started listening to audios 8 hours a day, guys. I'm at work. I'm cutting grass. It's my job. I'm cutting down trees. It's my job. And you're not supposed to be listening to headphones when you're working with machinery. But I didn't give a shit because I had Tony Robbins in my ears for 8 hours a day. Tony Robbins was teaching me how to live. He was reteaching me how to think. He was reteaching me how to love life, how to live with passion. That's his saying, live with passion. And so look, that's all I want to extend to you guys, is I want to extend to you guys the idea of living with passion, the idea of actually loving your life. And not only that, I just want to help people realize that they're in control. So many people think, well, this is how I've just lived my life for 30, 40, 50 years, so I can't change it. I can't teach an old dog new tricks. Oh, this is just the way I was born. Oh, this is just who I am. This is just no, it's who you decide to be. It's not just who you are. You don't just become a person. You decide who you're going to become. That's the thing. And I'm telling you guys, for a big part of my life, I thought, hey, I'm just a doobie. I'm a doobie, man. I'm a doobie. It's my family tradition. What do? I drink, I party, I smoke, I do this, I do that. And it's my family tradition. It's just who I was born to be. It's who I become. And it's all bullshit. It was all bullshit. I decided one day, no, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to be who you want me to be. I'm going to be who I decide to be. I'm not going to be who the teachers want me to be. Oh, teachers want me to go be a doctor. No, I want to play music. I want to share ideas. I want to connect with people. That's what I want to do. I don't want to be a doctor. I mean, hey, if you want to be a doctor, do it. That's good. We need doctors. But I think we also need people who are sharing good ideas. I think we also need people who are creating art that helps change the way people think. I'm not a super fit, muscular, workout, personal trainer kind of guy. I'm more of a mindset guy. I believe it all starts here at the mind. And so that's why I'm so passionate about this subject. That's why you could hear me talk and talk and talk and talk. And I've been going on for 33 minutes and you just can't shut me up because I'm crazy. So, Space Paradoxes. He says, while that's saying not all heroes wear capes sure applies here. It's true, man. Not all heroes wear capes. You got that right. Coach Sagasta, my friend Frank, he says, quick, what's up? It's been a minute, my friend. Hope to be with you on Friday. Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll see you on Friday, Frank. I'm gonna try to chill out here. I'm gonna try to chill, get off this podcast, and I gotta thank you guys. I gotta thank Frank. Let's see, we got Space Paradoxes. Thank you so much for tuning in with your thoughtful comments. Brent Snary, Rachel Johnson, Connor. Seriously, guys, thank you so much, because I'm telling you, there's so many people out there in this day and age who just don't even want to talk about it. They just don't even want to talk about it. They're bored. They're bored by the subject of mindset. They're bored by the subject of improving their lives. They're bored. Could you believe that? The one thing that could set you free and you don't like it. It's boring to you. Learning is boring. Learning is stupid, right? Where did you learn that? Why do you think you're uneducated? Why do you think you don't have a good job? Because you don't like learning. What's the saying? The more you learn, the more you earn, right? And there's truth to that. And not just earning money, earning renown, earning whatever. It's also about what you could give, right? Because the more you learn, the more you have to give. Why do you guys think I give so much on this show? I'm always coming on the show, giving you guys new ideas, sharing new things, sharing strategies, things that have changed my life, because I'm constantly immersing myself in an environment that promotes that. I'm constantly learning myself so that I can share it with you guys. So it's huge. Okay, we got a comment from Christy. She says, enjoyed listening to a mature young man with a bright future. You have found your calling. Hey, I really appreciate that. I do. I get called mature often. And I think the only reason is because, look, when I was 16, 14, 15, I was immature as can be. And so I had a quick 180 shift. And look, it's not because, look, I'm 22 years old. I've still got so much to learn. I've still got so much life to experience. I'm still naive to so many things. But I have such a hunger and a drive and a passion to learn. And that's what a lot of people don't have. They've lost their drive. They've lost their hunger. They've lost their passion. And so they're just going with the flow. They're just roaming through life, hating it, right? Oh, I need pills to make myself feel better. Oh no, I need food. I need drugs. I need alcohol. I need this to make me feel better. I got to smoke that next cigarette. I got to pop that next pill. I got to drink that next beer. And it doesn't work. You know it doesn't work, because that you wake up the next day and you're right back to square one, exactly where you were. And I'm so passionate about this. I get so worked up about this because I've freaking lived it. Because it's my life. It's my history. This is who I am. And it's my truth. It's just what I know. And so, come on, you get me on here talking about, quantum physics, or get me on here talking about doctors, or talking about like math. No, this is not my area. But when it comes to mindset, guys, when it comes to depression, suicide, when it comes to mastery, when it comes to motivation, when it comes to mindset, these are the things that have changed my life. These are the things that I know because I've immersed myself in that environment. Human psychology, what it takes to get the edge, what it takes to get to that next level and make it happen. That's what matters to me. And, my mission in life is to help people realize their potential, because you don't need pills. You don't need drugs. You don't need more food. You don't need another drink. You don't need another cigarette. You need to take control of your mind. Set yourself free. Please. It's so worth it. It's just so worth it. Okay, I'm going to read a few more comments, guys, and then I'm going to get out of here because, like I said, I get too worked up. I could go on for days here. Christy's also saying, Brad says, very inspiring, mate. You're on the right path. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that, Brad. Christy, as a teacher, I see so many kids who are lost. They need role models like you. It's true. It's true. So many kids are lost. I was one of those lost kids, right? And I was lucky. At the age of 20, I was able to turn my life around, right? But there's some kids, I mean, if I could help a kid at 10, right? If a kid at 10 years old could turn his life around the way I turned my life around at 20, he'd be 10 years ahead of me. 10 years. If I could do that for that kid, man, I tell you, that's my life, man. That's all I want to do. Space Paradoxes. I think although we live in a fast-paced society we live in, being a click away from connecting with someone, our society is in dire need of communication. So what you do here is really amazing. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Feel free to hop on the show. We do this every Tuesday. We do a Q&A Tuesday where I get your comments on the screen and I engage with you guys. Every other day of the week, we're interviewing people or we're doing something fun like that. But this is what I love to do, guys. I really do, because when I can connect with people like you guys, people who actually want to think, people who actually want to talk about it, right? People who actually want to talk about depression, they actually want to talk about these things, and they don't want to just like bury it and I don't want to think about it, I don't want to talk about it, it's boring, and then they're depressed behind closed doors. Like, let's help those people, guys, because there's more people like that than you know. You might be like that. You might be watching this show and you're shy. You don't want to comment. You don't want to say anything. You don't I don't know. I don't want anybody to think differently of me. I don't know if I want to really get into it, right? And then, like, that's fine. But like, I'm telling you from my personal experience, when you just open yourself up, you open your mind to new experiences, you open your heart to connecting with others, everything changes. Everything changes. It's so beautiful. Brett, what's up, bro? He says, what's new with you? You know what's new with me? Everything. I'm writing lots of books. Actually, right now I'm fasting. I'm not eating any food for the next 3 days. Actually, the next 2 days, because today's day 2. I'm just drinking water, just drinking really healthy water, and it's really helping me detox. I don't know if you guys could tell there's something a little different about me today. I'm a little tired. I'm a little less energetic than I am. I'm actually sitting down. I don't sit down a lot on the podcast, but I'm just tired, like, from fasting, and so I'm excited to get some food in me in the next couple of days. It's gonna be good. So it's good to detox and get all that stuff out of me. So I feel good about that. How is your mom, Gail Dubé? My mom is a beautiful woman. I love her so much. She's doing really well. Anytime I talk to her, she's got a smile on her face. I love my mom. We got one more comment here from Kuba Popo. That's cool. I like that. Where does that name come from? I'm curious. It says, why hello there. How are we today, sir? I hope quite well. Yeah, I'm doing very well. Actually, I'm just finishing up this podcast. I should really head out of here because I've got other things I got to do. But look, guys, I really hope this episode provided value for you. I got really personal on this episode. I don't want to tear up. I got really personal. I brought up a lot of things that I probably haven't talked about in a while. I got a little worked up. I got a little upset. But look, guys, like I said before, this is my life. This is who I am. I just want to be open. I just want to be true to who I am. I don't want to lie to you guys. I don't want to be somebody I'm not. I don't want to try to convince you that I'm some perfect, amazing person. No, like, I'm a freaking human. I make mistakes. I fuck up on a daily basis. But the difference between me and somebody who just gives up is I will not give up. I will keep on going. I will keep making it happen. I will do anything I can to get better, to be better, to improve, to grow, to share, to serve. And so that's that, man. I can't. Jeez, I'm going to talk forever. Brett says, I know your mom from Goodwill. She's a very friendly person. Do you see? She's a very friendly person. And I'm super grateful to have a mom who, she's not only friendly, she's just loving and caring. I remember when I was a teenager and I was, I'd be getting in arguments with my family, like with my dad or with somebody at school or my brother or whatever. And I remember running to my room one day and I was contemplating suicide. And I remember I was laying in my room. I freaking slammed the door, just like covered myself under the blankets. I just curled up into a ball and I was thinking, how am I going to do it? Do I use a knife? Do I jump over a bridge? How do I do it? And my mom walks in the room and she was there. She sat beside me and she's like, hey, honey, what's going on? Let's talk about it. Like, I love you. I'm here to support you. It's going to be okay. And I tell you, if I didn't have her, if I didn't have my mom that day, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't. And so, like, I'm so grateful to have loving family. I'm so grateful to have you guys. I'm so grateful to have your support and everything. And so, yeah. Okay, I'm out. I'm really out before I freaking cry on this show. Okay, if you guys want to support Implicit, what we're doing, everything, if you guys want to dive deeper into the community, like, send me a message on Facebook. I'd love to connect with you personally. Or you could go to patreon.com/implicit, and it's really cool. You get free books there. All the books that I'm writing, you get that stuff. And yeah, it'll be really cool to connect with you guys even more and to get deeper. Like, I want to have this conversation. I want to have this conversation. Too many people, they don't want to talk about it. Oh, depression, oh, mental illness, oh, like mindset, oh, like suicide, oh, like how to be happy. Like, come on, I don't even want to talk about it. This is like, we need to talk about it. There's more people dying today from that than anything in the world, than any war, than any natural disaster, than any of that stuff. This is an epidemic. This is something we need to talk about. And I will not shut up until we find a way to resolve it, until we make it happen, until you are better and I'm better and we're all better together and the world's a better place for not just for me, not just for you, but for our friends, for our family, for humanity, for nature, for the animals, for everybody on this planet. Let's make it better. Okay, I'm out. Peace. I love you. I really do.